Hi, everyone. So today we are going to be talking about your writing piece that goes along with the phases of the moon. So give me a second. I will share my screen with you, and then we'll go over it and talk about the Foursquare. Give me 1 second here. There we go. Now it's sharing. So let's start by taking a look at our prompt to figure out what we have to write about. Here we go. Here's our prompt. It says directions. Use the information from phases of the moon to write an informational writing piece about how the moon moves through each phase. All right. So first thing we have to do is we have to figure out, like we did last week, we have to figure out what type of writing we are doing. Right. Remember, there are three different kinds. There is the informational, there is opinion, and there is compare and contrast. This one makes it easy for us. It tells us what kind of writing we're going to make or we're going to be doing. It is going to be an informational writing piece. All right. Now that we know what our informational writing piece is going to be, we can take a look and figure out what it is we have to write about. In this case, it's telling you, if you keep reading from there, it says writing piece about how the moon moves through each phase. So what we're going to be telling our reader is we're going to be explaining to them the movement of the moon, all right, and how it goes through each of its phases. So now that we have that, we can go and take a look at our Foursquare. Now you will notice, I was working on this a little bit, don't worry about this, but you will notice that my Foursquare might look a little bit different from yours. That is because I couldn't get the box to go in the middle here. So instead of putting it in the middle, I put it down here. Not a big deal, just that way you know where it's at and what I'm doing, all right? So the box that's supposed to be in the middle, that's actually at the bottom, is our topic sentence, all right? Now, our topic sentence has to do with telling the author that you're going to be informing them of something and telling them what you will be informing them of, right? So let's come up with a topic sentence. I think mine might go something like, the moon moves through many phases in a month, period, right? So that's telling me we're going to be talking about the moon. I'm going to give you many phases about the moon, right? Now, come up here to our first paragraph box. As always, we always start with our transition word. I'm just going to keep it simple and use first, comma, enter, and now I have to come up with what my topic is going to be, all right? I'm going to start by just giving a lowdown of the moon. I'm going to start by saying the moon, just to kind of give people a little bit of information about the moon who might not already have the moon, all right? Or already know about the moon. So, first piece of information I want comes from the article, as soon as I can find it. So, it's right here, Earth's moon. It's talking about the Earth is part of the solar system, the moon, it has all of this different stuff. Where is that part at? It's the largest. So the moon is the largest object that revolves around the Earth. That's one of the things I want to tell our reader about, is that the moon orbits the Earth, because that is what gives it the different phases. All right, let's see what else we can find. While it may look like it does not emit light, or while it may look like it does, the moon doesn't actually emit light. Another good thing that we could inform our reader of, because the different phases are how much the moon is lit up, all right? So, reflects light. And then we got to come up with one more. Let's turn off my screen. There we go. Got to come up with one more. And right here it is. We're talking about the orbit of the moon. This here is telling us how long it takes for the moon to orbit Earth. It takes 29 and a half days about, all right? So I'm just gonna write 29.5 days. Done with my first box. I've got my transition word. I've got what this paragraph is gonna be about. And then I've got my three details informing the reader about the moon and just kind of how it goes through the phases, all right? Now we can start on our second box. Once again, first thing I have to do is come up with my transition word. I'm going to keep it simple and just use second. Now we got to figure out what type of thing we want to talk about in this paragraph, this box. I think I am going to talk about the new moon phase, because that is the first phase the moon goes through. So let's take a look here where it talks about the new moon. Find that. All right. So in this part here, it gives us the information, some of the information we need. All right. It says the new moon phase is when the Earth is between, or when the moon is between the Earth and Sun. So now I can go and add between Earth and Sun to my foursquare, because that is a piece of information that is important to know. Let's find some other information about it. As we keep going, the moon, people cannot see any of the moon at this point. Another great thing to talk about. Remember over here, we talked about reflecting light. At this point, it's not reflecting any light, so we can't see. All right, let's see if we can find some more information about the moon. I think that might be all of the information that I found for the new moon phase. Now, if I missed something, it'd be a great thing to add in your comments and let me know that I missed it. All right, so we can move on to the third box now. Same thing, start with our transition word and a comma. Third, comma. This time, because I just talked about the new moon, I think this time I'm going to talk about a full moon. Right? And then we'll go back and find information about the full moon in the passage. So let's find where it talks about the full moon. Halfway around the Earth at this time, the moon is, here we go. So as the moon orbits the Earth, people are able to see more and more of it. The moon moves halfway around the Earth. So it started here, it's moved halfway around, right? At this time, the moon is known as a full moon. A full moon is when you can see, is when the full side of the moon can be seen from Earth. So for the first thing I'm going to talk about, can see whole moon. Perfect. All right. We can also mention that at this point it is halfway in its orbit around the Earth. All right. That's going to be my next point I'm going to talk about. Now, let's see if we can find anything else. Can be seen from Earth. The full moon continues to move. There's not much else here that it includes. So most of the time we want to try to find 3 pieces of information. In this case, we only found 2. It's okay, don't worry about it. Now we can move on and talk about the last box, which, as you should already know, this last box is for our conclusion. So I'm going to start with my transition word. And then I'm going to recap what we talked about. All right. So I will say my introduction was the moon moves through many phases in a month. All right. So in conclusion, these are some of the phases the moon moves through, period. And we're done. All right. So that's how you write your foursquare for this one. If you have any questions, as always, please let me know. Let me get back into where I'm in the full screen. If I can figure out how to do that. I'll stop sharing right here. All right, there we go. So that is your foursquare. Stay tuned. I'm going to be posting another video that shows you how to go from your foursquare to your writing. Right? If you have any questions, once again, please let me know. I hope this helps you. If not, let me know. We can set up a time to talk online. Have a great rest of your day. Keep watching for that other video I will be posting going from Foursquare to your essay.